In 1968, a man by the name of George Romero created the very first zombie movie, titled Night of the Living Dead. The thought of dead people getting up and eating a bunch of other people was just so appealing that everyone looked at it and said, yes, more of that. And thus, the zombie genre was created, and it absolutely caught on. People made books, movies, video games, and much, much more. And everything was all fine until people got bored. Since everyone was making things with zombies in it, it led to the genre getting very oversaturated very quick. Like, look at the title of this game. Yet another zombie defense. Even the fucking devs know that there's way too much of this shit. But you get the point. There are way too many zombie games, and I and a lot of other people felt like everything had already been done. I'd seen all of the tropes, like, special zombie, special infected, look at that guy, he blows up. I've seen it all before. Until I discovered Project Zomboid. Fucking game. This game is the not-so-new zombie game on the block, and it brings quite a few unique features. Mainly its isometric point of view, where, get this, you can only see where your character's eyes can see. Now this might not seem very groundbreaking until you realize every single player story-driven zombie game has a third-person view, where you can see through doorways without your character even being remotely close to the door. And in The Last of Us, they don't give a shit, they just give you wall hacks. So yeah, the camera angle and the sight system is a bit unique, but look at those absolute potato graphics. There's no way you can make a more realistic game than The Last of Us looking like that. Like you just came out of a fucking dumpster. Well, viewer, you are sorely mistaken. This game allows you to do pretty much everything you can do in a real zombie apocalypse. Do you want to go to the police station and get a bunch of guns and shoot the first zombie you see, alerting an entire horde? You can do that. Do you want to steal a car and immediately crash it, which leads to you getting a crippling head injury? You can do that. Do you want to drink bleach with the boys? Oh shit, I don't feel so good.
You fucking die.
You can do that. Yet you get the point. In this game, you pretty much have an unlimited amount of possibilities, but nearly all of them lead to death. In this game, there's let me check, a 100% chance that you will die. It tells you this at the beginning of a run, and it tells you this in the tutorial, and your stupid ass tells yourself this after you accidentally press the Q key, sending you straight back to the character creation screen. Speaking of the character creation, if you want any amount of good traits and a decent job, you have to be one of the most schizophrenic men on Earth. An occupation is the job that you did before the outbreak. It can change basic stuff like the stats of your character, and the clothes you wear, and not much else. Traits can either be positive or negative, and affect more in-depth stuff with your character. It can affect something as little as your driving speed, or your Moodles, more on those later. I know, it's a weird-ass name, we will get to them. The way the traits and job system works is that you have a set amount of points that you can spend on a decent occupation or positive traits. And if you want to get more of these good points, you gotta take on some bad traits. These traits can range from being a slow driver or getting thirstier faster to being a claustrophobic smoker that is in constant amount of stress because of his living conditions. The appearance changer is also pretty decent. You can't change everything, but since this game has a simple art style with its pixely graphics, you don't need to change a lot to look like Walter White. Now let's put that character you made to use. You'll usually spawn in a house, and if you're lucky, you'll spawn in the police station, but for this we'll assume that you're less fortunate and just spawn in a normal home. First, shut the curtains. Okay, good. Now, from here you probably want to scavenge around the house for important items like food, tools, weapons, medical supplies. The power and water stays on for around a week, so like, you don't have to worry about that for now, but later on you will have to go get a generator. After you've scavenged around, you can either go outside and scavenge a bit more for important supplies like guns, better weapons, building materials, or you can sit on your dirty ass watching TV while eating everything in the pantry. Believe it or not, the second option isn't the worst idea. If you turn the TV channel on Life and Living, you can actually gain crucial skills like carpentry, cooking, fishing, and a few more other things. So just make sure you turn the volume down, because you might find yourself having a non non-consensual watch party otherwise. No matter what you choose, you will eventually have to go outside. And I know this step might be a bit hard, because it requires you to get a healthy amount of vitamin D and touch grass. I know it's difficult, but I believe in you. I've done it many times before. Going outside also means you'll encounter some zombies. In the majority of zombie games or movies, the zombies get faded out and are just an afterthought while it focuses more on human drama. But this game shows that the zombies are the main threat and they are not going away. So do not underestimate these fuckers. If you have a group on you and one grabs you, you're pretty much dead, unless you're super fucking lucky. So when you're first starting out, don't be cocky and try taking on too many at once. The combat is relatively simple. Hold down the right mouse button to strike an intimidating power stance, left click to swing or shoot your weapon, and press space to push the zombies back. The combat is very simple, but if you master it, you can take on an entire population of a small African country. Early in the video, I mentioned Moodles, which are these little things. These are little notifications telling you if your character is in excruciating pain or not. They tell you your character's status, showing if you're, maybe in pain, sick, or dead, and it really shows how realistic this game is. If you're sick and you're well nourished, you'll heal faster. If you're depressed, your actions are slower, and apparently, if you craft a fucking door and want to lock it, you have to use the key that goes to that specific door handle that you use to craft it. How? Like, I know this is your whole thing, Project Zomboid, but like, this is a bit much, don't you think? I personally learned about how realistic this game was when I made Walter White do a bunch of push-ups and sit-ups, and then thought it was a good idea to take on a few zombies, thinking it was no biggie. And I found out that I swing slower than a senile grandmother while I proceed to get bit, and had Walter White read a book in his last moments of life. Yeah, apparently working out can make you sore so you don't swing as fast. I didn't know that, and I paid the price. Speaking about injuries in this game, the damage system is insane. If you trip and then get your knee scratched up, you can't walk as fast. If you jump out of a 2-story window and fracture your leg, if you put a splint on it, it'll heal faster. And if you get bit, well, you might as well say your goodbyes to your character that you spent so much time on, because after the course of a few days, you yourself will turn into one of the dead. This doesn't mean that all your loot's gone. You can still get your stuff back. Just make a new character, go back to the place that you died, and kill your zombified self and grab your stuff like a fucked up loot box. Eventually, you're gonna want to get a car to move further distances and carry more stuff, but you'll find that most cars are in awful condition. But if you do find a good car with gas, you can either find the key, good luck with that.
Oh, what the
car? No way, I found the key!
That is...
No way, okay, easy. Or you can hotwire it. And to do this, you need 1 skill in electricity and 2 skills in mechanic. Or you could just pick the burglar occupation, which has the ability to hotwire cars as soon as they spawn in. Over time, you might start feeling lonely, but that's not a problem, because recently, they added multiplayer. So you and your dumbass friends can go out and do dumbass things. Oh yeah, there's also PvP, so enjoy bashing your friend's skull in. At some point, you're gonna find a gun. Since this game is set in the God-loving state of Kentucky, located in the US of A, you might think you're gonna be the next Rick Grimes, hitting headshots even though you're in a different time zone. But look at those stats again. Yup, your shooting skill is 0. Unless you picked these occupations, but I know you didn't, because you picked burglar, because you want to go play GTA in Project Zomboid, but that's not my point. With your shooting skill at 0, good luck hitting anything. Me and my friend found this out when we raided the police station and were ready to mow down a horde of zombies and proceeded to miss every single one of our shots with a shotgun. The moral of the story is, don't use guns, use frying pans. They're everywhere, they're easy to use, and they're quiet. That's something you're gonna have to do a lot of. Stealth. Unless you're a little bitch and play on survivor mode, this mode just makes you more powerful and makes the zombies have the competence of Joe Biden. And it's stupid, and I hate it, and it takes less skills, and it's fucking gay. Now back to stealth. All you need to know is to crouch, stay out of the sight of the zombies, and do not run. For the love of all that is holy, do not fucking run everywhere. You don't need to do that. And if you're unlucky enough to trigger a house alarm, then leave the house, abandon your base, and go live in the woods. This is the only reliable way to survive in this situation. One last thing about this game. It has mod support. I think mod support is a thing every game should have, but Project Zomboid takes it to a whole nother level. You can customize pretty much everything about this game. Want some friends but you don't have any in real life to play with? There's a mod for that. Do you think the inventory is shitty? Changed. Do you want to play as the Doomslayer and kill multiple enemies with a fork? You can do that. It's actually incredible how well it works. And I think good modding tools show how much the developers actually care about a game, and it shows by how much custom content there actually is. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, have a good rest of your day. Also, my last video, it did pretty well. Like, by my standards, it got like 1K views, and I ran a poll to see what video you guys wanted. Jesus Christ, why the fuck was Sons of the Forest voted on last? I have 170 gigabytes of this footage that I need to get rid of. Please help.